Okay, for the last section of our lab, for the first part of this course, the last thing we're going to cover, it says blood type examples. You have to be able to read one of these little wells, determine the person's blood type, and then indicate who can they donate to and then who can they receive from. So I'm going to start here first. Now, that's the real thing. So this is a pretty common lab experiment you can do. What you do is you have this little plastic well, and it's actually a well, and we used to have fake blood, and then we had students who were vampires and wanted to do their own blood, so they had to stick their finger. You put a few drops of blood in each well. And then, why are we doing this? We're trying to figure out what is somebody's blood type. So this has nothing to do with transfusions. This is literally called blood typing. We're trying to figure out, if you don't know your blood type, this is a very simple method you can. You put your blood in each well. In this well with the A, you're going to drop A antibodies. This represents the Rh factor, or the antigen D. You would drop Rh antibodies in here, the anti-Rh antibodies. And then in this well, you're going to drop B antibodies. And the thing is, if your blood has whatever antigen your blood has, there's going to be clumping, or what is called agglutination. In this case, see that clumped? That means that this person is B negative. They don't have the Rh factor and they don't have A, because there's no clumping here and you see clumping there. This is what it really looked like at one point. We had these exact kits. See the A, the Rh, and see how that's all clumped together? How do you read that test? That is B negative. And the reason is the blood is the same, and you use a stick to stir these together. You use a stick for each well. You don't want to contaminate them, but if you put A antibodies here, the Rh antibodies here, and the B antibodies here, it tells you what type of antigen are there, because the antibodies are going to bind to the antigen. So that determines the clumping part. And I'm going to go through all the examples for you, so if you have your outline available, you can either mark it on your computer, or you can write them down, but be good, something good to study.
At the beginning of the blood typing exercise, 3 to 4 drops of blood of each individual are placed into the 3 wells on the blood typing plate. Next, 3 to 4 drops of the antibody against antigen A are added to the A well of each plate. The procedure is repeated for the antibody against antigen B and for the antibody against the Rh antigen. Once the antibodies have been added to the appropriate wells, a toothpick will be used in each well to mix the blood and antibody. Should the individual have a specific antigen that antibody targets, we should observe agglutination occurring in that particular well. Agglutination is denoted by either a color change or the appearance of particulates or clumps inside the well containing the blood and antibody mixture. The blood type of this individual is AB positive, denoted by the fact that the A well, B well, and Rh well show agglutination. This means that A, B, and Rh antigens are present on the surface of this person's red blood cells. This person, on the other hand, is O negative, denoted by the fact that no agglutination occurs in the A, B, or Rh well, meaning that none of these antigens are present on this person's red blood cells. And the same technique can be used to analyze the blood type of other individuals.
Okay, I hope that video helped. It helps to actually see how the experiment is done. We've since have modified our experiment in lab a little bit, but we use cards now instead of these wells. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through an example of each blood type. And what you're looking for is clumping. If this clumps, if this well clumps, it tells you their blood type. You'll have to be able to identify that, and then you'll have to write, okay, put whether or not who can they donate to, who can they receive from. So what we're going to have to do is we are going to magically, let's see, where is it? We're going to teleport over to this. Now I'm just going to use a little pay bucket. Let's say that you go along, you drop blood in all three wells, you put A antibodies here, RH antibodies here, and B antibodies here. You go away for 10 or 15 minutes and you come back, and that guy there is clumped. What is this person's blood type? That person, and I'm going to put this right here, is, and I'll make it big if I can. Let's see, it's going to be kind of small. They are A equals. That's right, I invented a new blood type. They are A negative. And I don't think it'll stay this big. Let's see, there we go. Right? They are A negative. This clumped, the RH did not, which means they do not have the antigen D, so that's why they're negative. And the B didn't clump, so they're A negative. All right, we good with how this is going to go? I hope. Let me see if maybe I could leave it the way that it is and click on this. No. All right, well, what if you come back, this one clumped and that one clumped? What is their blood type? Well, and what if the A clumped as well in the whole? No, I'm sorry. Let me do this again. All righty. So what happens there? They are A. Oops. They are A positive. So we're going to just erase that off. There we go. The A clumped and the RH clumped, which means they have the antigen G and the B didn't clump. So that's how we're going to do this. All right, let's do B. Let's say you put blood in all these wells, you come back, and that guy there has clumped. What is this person's blood type? Well, they are B negative. Why is that? Well, the A didn't clump and the RH didn't clump. And once again, this is not transfusions. Clumping means they have the B antigen, which makes them type B blood type. And they're negative because they don't have the RH factor. If you come back, these two are clumped, then that means that person is going to be B, oops. Well, they're B positive. This thing's a little bit limited, so I'm going to erase it, but that's okay. Maybe this will give you a chance for it to marinate for a minute. They are B positive. B because the B well clumped, and then RH because the RH clumped. All right, we'll do the next one then. Let's say you leave, you put blood here, and blood here. You drop A antibodies here, the RH, the anti-RH or anti-D antibodies here, and the B antibodies, well, whatever, anti-B antibodies here. You come back, and these two have clumped, but this one did not. What is the person's blood type? So, drum roll, they are AB negative. Negative because this didn't clump and these two did, indicating they have A antigens and B antigens. That's why they're AB negative. That takes more time than anything. So if you come back and all of these have clumped together, you did your little test and you came back, this person is AB positive. A because the A antigen, B antigen, and they also have the RH factor. So that's the two AB examples in blood typing, trying to determine it. Okay, our last example. let's say you drop blood in each well and you put the corresponding A antibodies here, or anti-A antibodies, anti-B antibodies, anti-RH antibodies. You leave, go get a Diet Coke, you come back, and none of these have clumped. There's no clumping in either, well, none of the three wells. What is their blood type? Their blood type is O negative. They don't have the A or the B or the RH. So it registers as just O negative. If you come back, I'm just going to do the whole thing. If you come back and this one clumped, what is their blood type? They are O positive. O because the A and B did not clump, but they do have the RH factor. Okay, so I hope that helps. If you'll watch this video and fill in, and you can just write the corresponding blood type on top. I did split this up a little bit. Be a good thing to study, but you'll have one of these little wells on your exam, at least 2 or 3 questions about something like this.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.